Hey everyone, it's Ann Nicole with Canterbury Card Designs. I'm here today. We're going to make we're gonna make one. I have two samples to show you. Christmas cards that have ornaments attached to them. So it's a little gift and a card for the recipient. And we're gonna make it, we're gonna hold it on there with this belly band. This is one that I made. This is a Snowflake die from Picket Studios. This one, it happens to be double-sided and it's quite thick. I made this one six layers thick because it's kind of delicate. And it is held on there with the belly band. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna use another snowflake ornament from Picket Studios. This is another ornament die from Picket Studios. And this one I made a little bit, this one is not double-sided, and this one is only 4 layers thick. And we're gonna use the same background stamp from Simon Says Stamp. Okay, so today we are using the Snowflake Alice die from Picket Studios. Picket Studios is having a 75% off sale. So I picked up some things that I had been wanting to get that had just never, I just never purchased. So this was one of them. I have pre-cut 6 of these, and then I have pre-cut a green glitter one from Simon Says Stamp glitter cardstock. Before we start putting this together, which goes pretty quickly, I just want to show you, I have one pre-cut here. If you think about mass producing these cards, it really would be pretty simple. You could cut as many layers as you want to make it thick. So say you want to make yours 4 layers thick, right? So you need 4 per ornament, and you want to make 20 cards. You cut out 80 pieces of cardstock that will fit your die, and then you just go real quick and just die cut. That would be really fast, and then you could come back later on and assemble them. So this card really, even though it seems like it would be a little difficult to mass produce, it really wouldn't be. So I have die cut this, and you can see this is pretty intricate. It's pretty delicate. Okay, I cut these from 110-pound cardstock, but getting them out doesn't have to be that difficult. What I do is I turn the piece over and I take this tool from Spellbinders, the tool-in-one, and I run over it a few times. The other thing you can do is you can kind of gently hold the edges of the paper up like this. And you'll see some of the pieces start to come out, but what it does is it loosens it, and I'm going to show you the other great thing that it does. So I'm just going to run over this a few times. And it doesn't, you don't have to get it out. It's just, you're just trying to make it a little bit easier for you to get it out. Okay. Now, you see all these little white pieces? When you die cut pieces, sometimes you have those little tiny frayed pieces on the side. This tool gets those off, and that's what I like about that. See, all these little pieces here, like that? That's what it gets off. So I just wanted to show you that really quick before starting, because I did that with each one of these. Okay, so now let's put our card together. I am going to use today a top folding A2 card base, so I'm going to put that over there on the side. And I wasn't sure how thick I wanted this to be, because this one is actually even a little more delicate than the other snowflake card that I showed you, because this one actually has the background to it. This is the background, and then I used, the top. Where's my glue? Okay. So this one, like I said, is a little more delicate. So I wasn't sure how many I wanted to put together. So I think I cut 6 plus the glitter piece. So we're just gonna start putting these together. And I'm just gonna, lightly just put some glue here. So bear with me while we put these all together. And if you have one that when you're getting it out, a piece of it rips or anything, like, or the top layer of the paper comes out, or anything like that, don't throw it out. Just make it one of the middle layers. No big deal, no waste. You really don't have to get it on every single piece. I'm trying to think if I want to make this a double-sided ornament. If I want to make it a double-sided ornament, I need to cut another one from the green glitter. So let's see, we're gonna just carefully place that on there. Oops, hold on. Ugh, my fingers here. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. There, okay. And a little bit there. Easy, easy peasy, right? Okay. So again, turning this one over. I'm just doing this one from the back side. You can do it whichever side you want to. Top of the other one or back of the one you're adhering. And I think I'm gonna just make this a one-sided ornament. These cards are a little bit thicker, so you certainly can mail them. I would suggest if you're gonna mail them, maybe a bubble wrap mailer. And it's certainly gonna cost you a little bit more in postage. But if you're gonna hand deliver it, you don't even need to worry about that. All right, alrighty, let's put our third layer on. Yeah, there we go, look at that. And you can see already, it's, it's pretty thick. Okay, perfect. Oh, I love this. And see, here's some of those frayed pieces I was talking about. This tool kind of takes those right out. Look at, see how many more we got. Okay. All right, now let's put our glitter piece on. For that, I think I'm gonna put the glitter on this. I could see me making a bunch of these, but doing all of the die cutting. Maybe even having someone help me with the die cutting. Although, if you have no mojo, die cutting is an easy thing to do. It doesn't require, it's kind of just a, muscle memory kind of thing. Doesn't require much in the way of thinking. So if you lost your mojo, that would be a great time to make all the die cuts, cut all the dies. Like I was saying, I might even have, I have my Anna Griffen, but I also have my Platinum 6, so I can always have my daughter or my husband help me. All right, so now we're going to put this on the top, and I think the best way that I'm finding to line these up is starting with that centerpiece. Yeah, look at how pretty that is. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay. Actually, this isn't too, you know what? This is not too bad. I don't think I really need all the other layers, but if I wanted to make this double-sided, this would be a good, let me do that. All right, so bear with me. I'm going to put this on here to hold that. Okay, and I'm gonna grab another piece of cardstock. You could actually do the back another color if you wanted to. That's not a bad idea either, but I think I'm gonna do mine the same. So I'm gonna take my die and run this through my Anna Griffen Empress really quick. So I'm gonna put this over here. And then I'm going to just I'm going to put this as high up as I possibly can on so then I cut this part and then I save that to use for something else, because that's perfect size if you want to cut out a sentiment or something. So let's run this through here. And now is a great time to grab these dies if you want, because of the 75% off sale over Picket Studios, which is really sad to see another small company kind of changing. And their products are really great. They ship fast. Their customer service is excellent. Actually, with this card here, with this is I think called the Ho 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 die. They actually sent me the Ho 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 stamp. But when I emailed, they were very kind and got the right one out to me right away. And I got it in a couple of days. So they did not ask me to, you know, I offered to return the stamp that they sent me in error, and they didn't want it back. So really good customer service. It's just sad to see, you know, like my favorite thing is now going out of business too. Another great small company. It's just sad to see all of these guys going out, or, you know, changing from, you know, what we've come to love over the years. Okay, so I'm gonna just take this out. With these, what I do is I get the shape out, you know, the die cut as a whole out first, and then I take out the little pieces. All right, so let's see. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut that as close as I can to the bottom of the die, and I'm going to save this because this is, like I said, this is perfect size if you want to cut a sentiment. And I'm going to stick that back in my pack. Okay. All right, now let's get the rest of these out. Hope everybody had a safe and happy 4th. We don't do too much here. They do have a lot of festivities in our town, but the fireworks, our cats get scared. One of our cats in particular, she gets really scared of the thunder, so the fireworks, you know, she goes and hides. So we like to stay home. And when we had a dog, he was always so terrified of the fireworks, so we tried to kind of stick close so they won't be scared. Okay. This is the part that really you could probably have somebody help you with if you want to mass produce these. But honestly, it's I don't know, I want to say it's kind of fun because it's kind of like, I guess a little tedious, but also you don't really have to think too much, which sometimes I really like to do things that don't require me to, because all day at work I'm making decisions and critically thinking, and sometimes I don't want to do that when I come home. Okay, so you can see all these little pieces. Let's take these, we'll get rid of these. And one of my kitty cats just joined me. I don't know if they'll come over here, but just joined me in my room. All right, here's one of those little pieces. I think this is gonna be super cute. I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna use that background stamp. I think I'm gonna stamp it in red. So let's glue this on. And of course, actually, I have a piece of cat hair stuck in there. 2 pieces of cat hair stuck in there. Look at that. Ugh, baby. All right, hold on. Let me get this out. That's what happens when you have 7 cats. All right, let's get this one out. Hey. Okay. And of course, it's stuck to my finger. Just making sure some of this on the ends so that the ends stick good. Okay. Alrighty. Let's try this. Okay, here we go. Okay, and I think that's pretty good. You can still see some white, a little bit, but that's okay. I know what I'm gonna do now to fix that. What's this? It's not. And then, there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my Ohuhu markers. I'm just gonna look at my swatching chart. Maybe this G390. G390, let's see, here we go. Okay, and I am going to take this and I'm just going to see if this works. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna do that entire thing on the video right now. I will spare you that. Okay, but that is a way you can, you know, to get rid of the white if you don't want the white. All right, now for our card. So I've got my card base over here, and I'm going to take, so now I still have some, I can make another one. And I'm going to take, this is the Christmas word stamp from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to grab my Misty. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm going to put it in, well, no, you know what I did? I remember now what I did. Okay. So I counted 4, I think this, you know, can't see the whole thing. I counted 4 squares over so that it got misaligned. I could remember, but it really didn't turn out to be a problem because the stamp actually goes all the way to the edge. So all you have to do is make sure that your card is facing the right way. So yeah, I know it opens this way, and make sure that it is, the words are the right way, because I did do that yesterday. I did do that once where I stamped it upside down and had to cut it apart. Okay. So I think I am going to use, let me check here. Look at my swatches. I think I'm gonna use Simon Says Stamp Cherry, because I think that would be a good kind of Christmas red. The other one I was thinking of, I think, is a little too pinkish. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna use Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Ink in Cherry. And let's get this stamped. Okay. I'm trying out a new camera setup here, so I'm sorry if some of this doesn't, you know, if the framing is off a little bit. Kind of just wanted to do a quick video to get back into it, because like I said, you know, I've kind of had a lot of things going on, and I changed my setup. I wanted to just try it out, but sometimes I have time to do the project, but I don't have time to edit the video and do the voiceover and stuff. So I just wanted, this is raw, unedited. So I'm using my pressure tool. I call it a pressure tool, but I made this probably about 4 or 5 years ago. All this is the top of a Yankee candle. I put Mod Podge and glitter on the inside of the cap. I had a round wooden piece. Gosh, I think either from Michaels or AC Moore now, which is closed. And then I cut a piece of felt, and that's it. Made my own. Okay, so let's see how good. Ooh, look at that. Oh, I love that. I love that. I think I am gonna do it one more time. So we'll get our ink and we'll ink it up one more time. I love this stamp. I absolutely love this background stamp. This would be great to stamp in like gold or silver and emboss it. How pretty would that be? Okay. All right, so now we'll just, that's what, and hopefully the card didn't move. Perfect. Oh, I love that. Absolutely beautiful. All right, now I'm just gonna clean this really quick, and I'm gonna clean my stamp really quick. Okay. All right. back in there. And I'll put my stamp away later. Okay. So there's our card base. So I think, oh, you know what I realized? You know what? I missed a step. Hold on. Maybe we can fix it though. Before you glue, yeah, we can fix it. Before you glue the last layer down, it's helpful to glue. So in other words, if I was going to put another layer on here, I would take my string and I would glue it in between the layers, but I forgot to do that. But not a big deal. I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to use red and white baker's twine. This one. And what I'm going to do is, instead of gluing it, I'm going to tie it. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Trying to think how I want to do this. You know what? I'm just going to tie a plain old knot. Okie dokie. Not going to squeeze too hard because those pieces are delicate. But let me just show you what I did with this one. Show you what I mean. So with this one, you can see the twine. This is a metallic thread from Altenew, is glued underneath this top layer here. I don't know if you can see that, but not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. There's always a way to fix a mistake. Nothing's a mistake. Let me just get that back on. Okay. All right. Oh, that's cute. I like that. And then we're going to tie a knot up here. It doesn't have to be super big, you know, super long. So we're just going to tie a knot up here. Okay. I'm going to tie one more. Okay. Perfect. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Okay. I'm going to clip these off. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do to make this stay on the card, and I see pieces here where the end is popping up like I didn't get enough glue on the end here, so we just go back. If you notice that, just go back and put a little dab of glue at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, at the center of this card, you can either cut one hole or two holes. Okay. So if you cut two slits, rather, not whole slit. If you cut two, you're going to put one piece of twine in each one, or you can cut one and just put the whole thing in that. So my card is 4 1/4, at least it should be. 4 1/4, okay, 4 1/4. So I'm going to do 2 1/8 inches is where I'm going to cut it, and I'm just kind of 2 1/8 right here, just to make sure that I get it in the center. And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to take, let's see, I think I'm going to use my precision scissors, and just, let's see, I'm just going to make a little bit of a snip. Doesn't have to be too big. And now we're going to take our ornament, and we are going to tuck the twine in there, and that is how it is going to hang on our card. Look how cute that comes out. And you can, again, you see how much I have back here. If you want it to be lower on the card, if you want to add an additional sentiment or something like that, you can, you can adjust the length of this to however you want. I'm going to leave mine so it's sort of in the middle of the card. And here's Sheldon. Sheldon, say hi. Okay. And you can glue, you can attach this to the back with some, some tape if you want. On these other ones, I just kind of left it there because, you know, you're gonna put it in the envelope. So, hey Shell, this is my big boy here. This is my big boy. Okay, so now we're going to make. Hi, buddy. Can you sit here for mommy? Here, sit here for mommy. Okay. All right. I'm gonna make the band to go around this to hold this in place. This is optional. You don't have to. But what I liked to do with these two cards is I put my sentiment on it. Guys, I'll show you. Sorry for the cattail. They're always so helpful. They love to play with anything that can roll, anything that they can lose easily on me. So, so I use these belly bands to put my sentiment on, rather than on the card. All right. So, to make our band, I'm trying to see if I have a piece of scrap paper here, but I really don't. I'm going to take a piece of 110-pound cardstock. And I want mine to be about it. Oops, what? I'm going to make mine an inch. So I'm just cutting a 1-inch strip from an 8.5 by 11 piece of 110-pound cardstock. I'm going to, let's see, I got some frayed edges here. I think I need to change my blade. So I'm just taking my mono sand eraser. If you have any frayed edges, like if you need a new blade or something like that, or if your cardstock didn't cut quite right, that takes them right off. Okay. So I'm going to take this now, and I'm going to, you want to make it like you don't want it to be so tight. So you're going to gently just kind of crease it, leaving a little bit of room because you want to make sure that it can slide up and down. So like that. So see, I just gently creased it. Okay, now I'm going to put my card aside. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and crease this, and you want to make sure that this is, you know, that it's lined up in case you had a crooked. And I'm going to crease it, and I like to reinforce it. I like to crease it on both sides. Okay. All right. Now, how is your belly band going to stay on? So to do this, there's a couple ways. I mean, you could make a, you know, like a fastener. You could do that. I've done that before. Or you could cut slits in it, which is the easiest way. So I'm going to just go a little bit from the end. I'm drawing the line there. You don't have to draw the line. I'm just so you can see. And I'm just going to snip just about halfway through. Okay. I'm just going to cut a tiny piece out there. Okay. Now I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark this so I know on the other piece. So now I have my mark, but what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to go up and I'm going to make the other slit on the top. So I'm using the mark so that I know that I have my next cut on the other side in the right place. Okay, so now I'm going to make another cut about halfway through and just cut a little tiny divot out. And that allows you to put the two ends together. This one I didn't cut quite far enough. Hold on. If they don't go together flush, it just means you got to cut your line a little bit longer. So I just went back and made that a little bit longer. And now let's see. Yeah. Now see, it's flush. Perfect. So now we can decorate our belly band. Let's make sure that it goes around. Yeah, let's make sure that it fits before we go through that. So I'm going to take this, our card, and make sure. And yes, yes, it will fit. It will fit. That's what it'll look like. Okay, so now let's decorate it. So let's see. Do I want to use a die cut word or do I want to use a stamp? I think we'll just do a stamp. Might make it a little bit easier. All right, so let me see. I might do the same sentiment that I did on the other one. And just have yourself a merry little Christmas. So I'm gonna get my Misty back out. Take my stamp out. Okay. So I'm gonna do this in the top corner because I can't push this up any higher because Sheldon is here with his tail. All right, so I'm gonna hold this down and then just line this up, and I'm lining this up in the top corner. I have my sticky mat and I'm lining my belly band up here in the top corner so that, okay, just making sure here because it's a little hard to see. And I'm gonna do that in some black VersaFine ink. Okay, I'm just moving this a little bit because I don't want to get cat hair in it. Thanks, Sheldon, for joining us. Oh yeah, I like that. And this is a sentiment from My Favorite Things. This is the Jingle Hugs set. So that's part of this set, which I think is so cute. I used this set for Christmas cards last year. Okay, I'll show you the whole set here because sadly My Favorite Things is going to be putting their stuff on clearance. So if this is available, this is a cute set. And I picked up the die set with it, but let me put this in here so you can see it against the white. This is cute. Like I said, this is the Jingle Hug set. Very cute. All right. So now we have our sentiment on our belly band. So we can leave it at that, or we can do what I did with this one. And I happen to have some scraps cut. You can see how much I made this belly band a little bit too big. Doesn't really matter. You know, it'll slide on and off without having to use the little divots. So I had some scraps cut and I happened to be able to find one that was thin enough. I don't know if that went right in between. And Sheldon just knocked my belly band off the table. All right. I don't know if I have any more cut that are that thin. I don't think I do. Oh, no. I thought that was gonna be. No, but what we can do, let me find one that's a good width that I like. That's not too wide. Maybe this one. Okay. So what we can do is we can. Okay, all right, Shell, come on. Boop, boop, boop. We can make this half. Do I want to do that? I'm not sure if I like that. Let me see. How will that look? To do it just on half. I don't know. Maybe a little bling instead. Maybe that'd be easier. Let's see. So let's go see what we have. Now I happen to have Right here, some Simon Says stamp. Peppermint, Pawsitively, Dazzling gems. So let's use these. And we'll just put a little bling on it instead. I'm going to get my embellishment tray. Just putting my pin back in my glue for 1 second here. All right. So I'm going to grab my embellishment tray and see what we got here. What do we have? What do we have? All right, let's see. So it looks like we've got some red and we've got some clear. I think I'm going to make it simple. I think I'm going to just do red, because I think the red will pull out the color of the background nicely. I'm just looking for the, I think this is the smallest size in here, so I'll just do this. I'm a big fan of doing things in odd numbers, so I think I'm just going to do that. All right. And we are almost done. I thank you so much if you watched this video till the end. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate you hitting the thumbs up and the subscribe button, turning on notifications to see the next video. Maybe I will shut the door to my craft room the next time. So we don't have any visitors, unless you enjoyed seeing Sheldon's tail through the last quarter of the video. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that dry for a second. Yeah, I think that's cute. You know what would be cute on that too is maybe would be a little splatter. Ooh, that's a good thought. A little splatter on there. Nah, I think I like it like this. So I'm going to put this on carefully. There we go. And yep. Yep. Got a little bit there. Oh, yeah. I think that came out so pretty. How adorable. Again, I don't think that these, especially this one might be a little bit harder because I made this so thick. And if you're going to be mailing them, I don't think you want to make all of your cards this thick. You know, it'll cost you a fortune to mail. But this one would be super easy to mail. This one might not actually even cost any extra money because it's really not that bulky. I'd have to put it on my postage scale and see. But so this is the finished card for today. Ornament, removable, and then you can do whatever you want, obviously, on the inside if you want to put it, you know, a sentiment or something like that as well. But leaves you plenty of room. You're giving a beautiful handmade card, and you're giving a little ornament keepsake. Thank you so much for joining me, my shell. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope to be back soon with another video. Again, if you like this, oh, and Sheldon's saying hi, whoops. If you like this, please hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and I will see you again in another video really soon. Let me see if I could get his little face in here. I don't think I can. No, it's too close. Sheldon, say hi. All right, guys, have a great weekend.